My name's Caitlyn. I'm the Asset Store Manager at Unity Technologies. I am blind. I can't see anyone out there, but I'll assume you're there. Thank you for coming to today's session. Oh, that's nice of you. And today's session is, of course, about the Asset Store. About using the Asset Store as a game developer to enrich your games, and using the Asset Store as a game seller, as an additional source of revenue or livelihood, to take your work and distribute it and bring it to the community. All right, I thought we'd open with something kind of exciting. I love this stuff.
出動だ。
でも、リュウさんは？
心配するな。必ず合流する。ナイス。サリーゴー。
I love the thing she does with the tongue right there. I actually didn't have much reason to show that, I just wanted to. I love kaiju movies and everything. But there is some relevance. As game developers and just in general as creative people, we're creating worlds. And it can be literally a world like a complete city, or it can be kind of a conceptual world. But either way, we are making worlds which have visual details, and they have rules that that fit that particular universe. So we're world makers as game developers, and so we're this guy. We really are that guy up there, and I just love his legs, by the way. It's so cool. So in making a world, we're dealing with we're trying to virtually stimulate people's senses. A sense of space, a sense of place and location, like an immersion in a space. We're trying to work with our animal senses. We're trying to touch that fight or flight part of the reptile brain, which makes games so fun. We're working with logic, with rules of logic. And then there's this other thing, which is just kind of the sense of wonder and surprise and joy that games give. So we can look at this as translating into resources that we as game developers need. First, you literally need the substance of your game world. So this is the things that you put in your scene. Environmental details, 3D models, textures. And then there's audio, which is often overlooked in the indie industry. So there's sound and sound effects and music to kind of reinforce the mood of a game scene. There's game logic, like the core mechanics. And then there's imagination, which is really the special thing that you cannot find on the Asset Store. Well, you can find imaginative things. But ultimately, imagination is the ingredient that you provide. So the Unity Asset Store is to help you do this. If you're not familiar with the store, we opened it in 2010 at Unite in Montreal. It was kind of an experiment. We noticed that people were naturally trading their work in the community, on the forums and on the wiki, on the IRC channel. People were sharing their models, their code. Someone would write code for a helicopter script or something, and then 10 other people would want it. So we realized here's an opportunity to connect people in a more formal way, rather than someone just posting a pile of code in the forum, and then a million different people taking it and kind of hacking it and complaining about problems or trying to support each other. We we actually put this up there so people can post that on the asset store, sell it if they want, give it away for free if they want, provide continuous ongoing support to create something that grows and strengthens and matures. So we have over 500 publishers on the asset store right now. Most of them are individuals, but there are some that are companies. Some that are pretty large and some that are pretty small. And we have 121,000 registered users. At least that was last week. It's probably close to 122,000. It keeps growing very quickly at a nice hockey stick curve. And you can see the store here. We have a front page where there's always like a highlighted item and then some that we think are special. You can see what's popular, and we also have, every month now, we have 15 items which are on sale, and it's proven immensely popular. So what is an asset? I remember the first time I heard the term asset, I was working at a game studio called Purple Moon in the 1990s, and I thought it was the weirdest word because it sounds so financial, you know? But it actually suits game content pretty well, you know, the first definition of it being useful or desirable, and having value, you know, something having value. So an asset can also be this. I love this guy, Fat Zombie. He's one of the most popular, well, he's one of my favorite characters on the asset store. And you can bring him into your world for just $55. The cool thing about the asset store is that everything in there is covered by a default license agreement. So, you know, if you were to buy this asset, you would get non-exclusive use to use him in your game, and you can distribute it and sell it, not pay any royalties or anything like that at all. And like that's it. It's really that simple. So we've gone out of our way to make sure that the licensing system is as friendly as possible, accessible as possible, and that you don't wind up with some crazy legal surprises or that you need to have a lawyer to review every single asset that you buy. And we have weapons. My friend, who's a really good gun modeler, calls it gun porn. You'll find all kinds of stuff on the asset store, including these gruesome, bloody knives. I don't even know what the hell this is about. But it's well made, it's low poly, it's on the asset store. And you can get the Doomsday device. We have hundreds of vehicles, cars, aircraft, spacecraft, you name it. And, but it's also a lot more than cars and guns and zombies and things. We have a lot of assets which bring like natural detail to your games, which bring organic feeling. And this is what I really think is one of the best things that you'll find on the store. Because things like trees and rocks, water, you know, these all take a degree of craftsmanship. And if it's not done well, it looks really corny. So we have some people on the asset store who are just brilliant master craftspeople. These are from Michael O. He's kind of our nature god on the asset store. He has a number of packs. They're kind of like construction kits that you can use to create really rich, organic worlds. This is one of my favorites from Decksoft Games, Cave Creator. Decksoft is a German company which has been kind of doing the same business as we are for about, I think, 8 years. And they've come onto the asset store. They just love it. You'll find almost all of their content on the store. Massive Black, the renowned development studio in San Francisco, has a number of assets on the store. Oh, what is that weird C? You'll find fish, and you'll even find a fish market to sell them at after you kill them, and a fishmonger. Oh yeah, these are from the Cave Creator pack from Decksoft. So you'll see here, this is modular. You can take any of these pieces, insert them, move them around, and create a custom cave or dungeon as you desire. This is similar. This is Walls and Towers from Decksoft. It's, when you get this, you're actually getting all of the pieces that you see here. So you could also drag these out, arrange them, and make an enormous walled city. And we have Algorithmics substance databases. If you're not familiar with substances, these are procedural textures or materials in Unity where you have sliders to control parameters in a given texture to create the effect you want. And they're really small, and they look beautiful, and you can get over 600 of them on the asset store. And editor extensions. This is probably the most popular category on the asset store. Unity is really, by nature, extensible. We expose a lot of the underlying technology so that you can create plugins which looks like we created them. It looks native. And I am just touched and surprised by how resourceful people are in creating their own plugins and tools to add new functionality to Unity. Like when people say, oh, Unity doesn't have enough 2D support, or oh, Unity's a little weak in this area, or a little weak in that area, or why doesn't it support this? Well, the good news is that you can write these solutions yourself. And if it's something you've been looking for, there's a good chance someone else has already done it and put it on the asset store. This is one of my favorites, Tidy Tile Mapper from Doppler Interactive. They're here, and we'll be talking to you in a little while. This lets you paint out 2.5D game levels to create, the perfect side-scrolling platformer. It's really cool. Smooth Moves, which is a skeletal sprite animation system, also makes 2D a heck of a lot easier. Game Draw from Mixed Dimensions. This is one of my favorites. If you really need to quickly flesh out some models or some geometry in your game levels, you don't have to leave Unity to do it. It's really good for prototyping and very handy, well supported. Algorithmics bitmap to material, where you pretty much just give it a single bitmap, and then the extension will go and create all kinds of variants on it and make it seamless. Normal maps for really, really beautiful and dramatic effects. And then we have a whole slew of node-based visual logic editors. We've got 4 really popular ones right now. There's another one called Antares Universe, which isn't listed. These enable you to create game logic, to basically program without having to open a code editor. So you're just drawing out boxes and connecting them. It's very popular with artists or people who just want to save a lot of time. And we have music and sound effects. Personally, just from my own history as a developer, this was really important to me. I had my own production company in the 90s, and I remember shelling out like $900 to a composer to get a single track, and it was hard to communicate to him what I wanted, and I wasn't happy with the final product, and the whole thing was a nightmare. And for smaller studios and smaller, like for indies, like a lot of you, this is actually pretty tricky to get. And if you were to get music through the production music route, like through these stock music houses, you had to have, you had to strike these like per title deals, per needle drop, and there's a whole, you basically need an entertainment lawyer. So we've gone out and reached out to places like APM, Audio Micro, which provide a large repository of music and sound effects, and have them now on the asset store under our same very simple license. So you don't need an entertainment lawyer to get access to this. And you'll hear a lot of the music and sound effects from these libraries in movies and television and commercials, like all the time. Let's see. And did you guys ever see these things in the backs of comic books? I've always loved those. Well, so what can you get if you sell stuff on the asset store? Well, we have some people who have actually made the asset store their primary livelihood. You could count them on probably 2 hands. But they're faring so well that they've quit their job, and are now making a living off of the asset store. There's some people who have bought video games and motorcycles, you know, some people, and there's almost everyone manages to at least buy pizza and beer off of their earnings. We pay our asset store sellers monthly on the 15th by PayPal. Some people get over $10,000. And you know, if you put your stuff up for free, you get some good karma. And we have some people like Bob Berkpile, creator of iTween, who has created something that you'll find in 1 million games. And he is generously shared. So it's not just a marketplace, it's a place to share. If you want to become an asset store creator, here's some tips. You know, I would look at the solutions that you've created for your own development pipeline. If you needed a certain tool and you've written it yourself, someone else is going to need it also. And there are so many people here who created their own tools for themselves, who, you know, they were going to make a game, they were going to use this in their game production, and then it turns out 1 million people wanted the tool, and suddenly they're making a ton of money off of it. So yeah, find something that Unity does not natively provide. You know, like we don't have a lot of 2D support. Or create modular construction kits, things you can put together, like characters that have tops and bottoms, or architectural components, things like that. They do pretty well. We look for assets that are well crafted. Like we do vet everything that is submitted. So when it comes in, we check for quality. We check to make sure it works perfectly in Unity. So you're never going to like wind up buying a model that, you know, is made with NURBS and won't tessellate properly or something. I've seen this happen 1 million times where people go to like TurboSquid and they buy a model and they put it in their game, and then they're like, why the heck is this not working? Every single thing on the asset store works smoothly with Unity. Good assets should be relevant, you know. I mean, we do have some very highly specialized things which are kind of cool, but, you know. Well presented. You want to create some attractive key images for your asset when you present it. And, you know, we have a forum group called What Would You Like on the Asset Store? And people are constantly putting up requests. There's a survey. So, you know, you could go and check that out as well if you're looking for ideas for things to sell. And yeah, our newest thing is the online services. We've, David mentioned this at the keynote. We've partnered up with a number of companies which have really awesome services to help you do things that will make your life easier. They'll help you make money. And just like Unity is here to do a lot of the heavy lifting, these services will do a lot of the heavy lifting. So monetization services, advertising delivery services. If you're making an MMO, there's solutions on the asset store for that, for removing the system administrator part out of the equation and hosting everything on a cloud. There's procedural animation generation systems. There's Vostopia's online avatar system. There's a lot of cool stuff, and there's more coming. These are all people we've got to know. None of these are fly-by-night operations, and they're just going to save you a whole lot of time. And now we've got some guest speakers. I would like to invite Joshua Mcgrath from Doppler Interactive. He's the creator of Tidy Tile Mapper. And yeah.
Thank you very much. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. This is very exciting for me. This is a bucket list situation. Oh, I'm all good up here, man. I got a remote control, too, so I'm super excited. Yeah, I'm one half of Doppler Interactive. I'm Joshua Mcgrath. We've got young Jessica Ellis down the front here who does our very pretty visual assets. And I'll tell you a little bit about it. What is Tidy Tile Mapper? Well, I had a vision or a dream. Actually, it was at like 3 in the morning, so it's closer to a dream. Alex Kidd in Miracle World, if some of you remember that, or Wonder Boy. I thought, these are great games, and I'd love to make one myself, but I love to program, and this level generation business should be the fun part, but is mostly, for me, the boring part, you know, the hooking up your prefabs and, you know, lining things up and such. So we put together Tidy Tile Mapper, and 3 steps we really tried to get there. It's step 1, paint your world. This is step 1 of that, or 0.5. put together a few blocks. They all come by default, by the way, so get the asset and you can paint a level like in 5 minutes, maybe less if your internet connection is fast. Paint it in there. We got a really cool system for this. Like you don't have to set how big your map's going to be at the start. It's arbitrary. Click on these chunks on the outside, it grows. We got a cool video which you should check out on YouTube. You tweet me up, I'll show you. And press play, and you got your business going. We've got character controllers in there, AI, so platform controllers, all A-star, pathfinding over it. So it's very exciting. I like this business, but this was the beginning. This was maybe January, maybe December, I can't remember. It's been a great year. And community feedback was just fantastic. So we started adding things. You can go three-dimensional now. You know, don't make Minecraft. I got to tell everyone, man, don't make Minecraft. That's a different kettle of fish. But we got 3D stuff. We got some more pathfinding. We got a Runtime Api now, which is fantastic. People are doing really cool stuff with that, like a procedural level generation for one click make a maze, make a mine, do things like that. And this is something I want to show you because I'm going to flick back to the start so you can see. This is the sort of standard level you would make, I guess, in a 2.5D mapping sort of thing. It's Alex Kidd E. It's Super Mario Brothers is why we shipped with these sort of beveled edge cubes. But it does pretty much anything you want to do that's sort of grid-based. So this is Ball of Woe. This is actually something we're working on before we left for Unite. This is a 5 by 5 by N tower of infinitely spawning platforms. All tidy tile mapper. It runs beautifully on mobile. It's actually an iPad 1, which I didn't think that would build because that thing's a dinosaur. But yeah, so just to give you a taste of the extra things you can do. It's not necessarily 2.5D, and this is the baby. This is Welcome to Nicetown. Excuse the res we put together in the hotel room. But there's an invisible grid here, tidy tile mapper wise, with nodes, plants and characters moving around A-star wise. So it's really, I guess, the summary would be it's a node-based mapping system, not necessarily 2.5D or platformers, though that's the big seller because I think everyone wants that dream of buy something today and ship a game tomorrow, which I'll try to help you do, man, but I'd love to do it myself, and not today. But yeah, so definitely that's us. We've had a fantastic experience on the asset store. If I've got time, I'll talk a little bit of business with you for a while. We shipped in January and got a really good response, which was just great. Get to the forums, everybody. That's my biggest recommendation. We started up a thread there and just got a really good community together they felt like they had a stake in the product. Like it was early at that stage. They had suggestions. They had a dream for the product, which is great because so do I. And it really grew from there. I think that's the beauty of, say, Unity. Everyone's quite positive in the community. So they've really helped build it and test it. I mean, we've been really blessed that way because we could effectively put out maybe a very strong beta quality product, and everybody tests it for you. They love the opportunity because they can contribute to the growth of the product. And the net result is, 6 months down the track, we have a really robust runtime API over a tile-based system. You can make your Terraria-style games, which is really cool. We're about to release a new update. When we get time, maybe after this trip, for making massive, we're talking like 10,000 by 10,000 maps, your Terraria style. It runs beautifully on mobile, your iPhone, your Android, and that's all with the feedback from the community. It's been a fantastic thing. Oh, and also, and I'm an excitable guy, so I'll keep telling you these things. Taking images you do in maybe Photoshop or MS Paint, something that feels more natural for an artist to paint maps, bringing them into Unity, and bam, you've got yourself a map straight away. Your green is your grass, your blue is your water, whatever you really like, whatever tools a tile sorry you want to put in there. That's all it. So I mean, it's a big future, and I really want to underline the value of being involved with the community, giving feedback to, say, if you're a user of the asset store, to the person creating the tool. Everybody I've met who creates assets are mega friendly, and they love the feedback. It's great for us because it's very rare to get fantastic feedback from people who are paying you, and they represent the market. It's a beautiful thing. So this is me. You should hit me up on Twitter. You can hear my angry train rants and occasionally something that's actually related to Unity. And do feel free to catch up with us around the joint. We'll tell you more if you want to try out the business. Come talk to me. And thank you very much, everybody. And thank you to Caitlyn.
Joshua and Jessica, they make up Doppler Interactive. not only is their product good, they have an excellent sense of style. They have verve. Okay, I'd like to welcome up to the stage next, Matthew Gonzalez from Be-Into. Matthew, there you are. Okay, you can just plug in right here and through there. Yeah. Do you need sound?
Yeah. Oh, no. All right. But, no, that's good. Hello. Everybody, congratulations for making it to day 4 of a very long and wonderful conference. So I feel like I'm talking about somewhat of a bad word when you talk to publishers and you say monetize, because they start thinking that it's going to ruin gameplay and all this other stuff. What we are doing is trying to figure out a way where we can reward players for the time and achievements within the games and reward them with real-world items, things that they want to buy. So Be-Into, what it is, it's a loyalty program. Think frequent flyer miles. It's an SDK that sits in the back, and it's an opt-in program, so the users decide that they want to opt in. As they reach certain achievements, they get what we call B dollars, and B dollars can be converted into discounts. So we won Le Web Paris, which was really great. We're funded. We got $5 million, which is awesome. So how it works is we have a marketplace, and in the marketplace right now there's about 7,000 items, from toasters to gift cards, Starbucks, and as they go in and they kind of see what they want, they use their B dollars to get discounts. So let's say if they wanted a 90% discount, they would have to earn X amount of B dollars. If they wanted a 50% discount, they use that. Where the monetization comes in for publishers, it's pretty cool. The first thing is we're just kind of like a regular CPM model in the sense where if we're showing an ad, somebody's paying. So as the users are going through our marketplace and they're just browsing, somebody's getting paid, you guys are getting paid because the advertisers want us to show that ad. When the person says that they want to get the offer, we send them an email. It's just like Groupon, it's considered email marketing. Publisher gets paid on that. The real money and the real kind of long-term value is this, is if you think of an affiliate network, what our goal is to do is to get users to take their B dollars and make a very large purchase. So for example, let's say they went in and they spent $100. Be-Into got paid 15, we pay the publisher 10. It's a 60 to 70% rev share. Where it gets kind of cool is that as they use, so for example, if they earned, we'll say 30% of their B dollars on your app and 40% on someone else's app, and they go to our marketplace and they make a purchase for $100, our system knows that you pretty much were 30% of that, and the other user was the other 45% of that. So when they make the purchase and the money comes in, you're going to get paid on that. Our real goal is for users to take their phone and go into any retail store and use the money that they've earned for B dollars to buy their t-shirts or coffee. And every time they make that purchase, we get paid and you guys get paid. Our biggest kind of case study is Halfbrick Studios. I'm sure everybody knows who they are, and Fruit Ninja. You want to talk about a company that does not want to ruin gameplay, but also will become a billion-dollar company because they know they can't pay the bills without making money. So they kind of started testing us out about a year ago on their Android version and wanted to make sure that the users were going to be okay with it and that it was like a real form of monetization. They could build a loyalty program. So 1 year later, we went from Android to to iOS, and probably by the end of this year, we'll be integrated in all of their titles as their kind of revenue choice for real rewards. We work with a few other publishers. We right now we're in 100 million plus devices. And we built a Unity plugin. We're very, very, very excited to have the opportunity to work with Unity. I kind of know that if developers don't think about making money, then they go out of business. And I've been very fortunate to work with thousands of them, and I've been very fortunate to see some of them kind of get off of that, let me give away my software for free and hope I can make 99 cents. So Unity, I think, is doing a great job by allowing us to showcase some of the things that we do to help put more money into your pocket. And if we do it right, the user wins because they're getting relevant discounts and rewards. So that's it. You guys can find us online. You can find me around. I'm kind of a nice guy. I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I like to help people out. But yeah, so if you're looking to reward your players, to make some money, it's really good money. Give you an example. I think by the end of next year, we'll be sending Halfbrick anywhere between $1 to $2 million per year. So it's real coin. But yeah, so thank you very much. I appreciate you guys' time. Hope you've enjoyed Amsterdam. I sure have.
Thanks a lot. Nice job. And coming up on stage here is Christophe Wegman from Exit Games. All right, here you go, Christophe.
Hello, everybody. So I'm Chris, founder of Exit Games. We totally focus since 2003 on real-time multiplayer stuff. So around that time, I didn't know Unity. So we were running on pretty low-end phones, so Series 40 phones from Nokia. But we made our way, and about 4 years ago, we started detecting Unity and building SDKs for Unity. And yeah, that was great for us. So since then, our user base really grew dramatically. So we have now 16,000 registered developers using our tools, and actually about 800 are signing up every month, which is yeah, very fascinating to see. So we use the asset store to provide our Photon Cloud product, which makes it really easy for developers to run synchronous real-time games. And it's, yeah, it's great to see. So our product actually replaces something in Unity, which is, we think, a little bit broken. That is, everybody uses Unity networking, so there are a couple of issues with it when you go live. So we said, okay, a lot of people are starting with it, so let's try to fix it. And we built Photon Unity networking. It's a fully managed service, so you don't have to run master servers. You don't have punch-through issues. We just wanted to be a great experience. And it's yeah, awesome to see that the Unity guys are actually supporting us in the asset store even to promote that stuff, because we think it's great. So we run servers around the world to have a low latency everywhere, in the US, in Europe, in Asia. And we launched Photon Cloud last year on the Unite in October, so about 10 months ago. And we have some pretty amazing stats as well. So we had 11,000 applications created. The largest application using our cloud has already like 13,000 concurrent players, and that's only in Russia. We are pumping out 800,000 messages per second when the maximum number of people play. And we are generating about 100 terabyte traffic every month. So, and we are pretty surprised by that. So to users, it's very simple. Just type in the asset store, search for Photon. You will get right there. It's free. Like Caitlyn mentioned, we are fully integrated into the Unity IDE, so you can just get started right there, enter your email, and you are all set. Here, a couple of samples. So that's a Counter-Strike portable game, downloaded 5 million times in the past 12 weeks. A tower defense game published on Steam using our stuff. Vote Warriors, I think, awarded, or let's say nominated for the awards. And that's like a huge Russian Minecraft type of game. Yeah, and that's basically it. So I hope you check out our stuff, and we are around here as well. Thank you.
Nice job. Photon Cloud is really cool. It just takes so much of the donkey work out of making an MMO. Next, we have Oliver and Allison. Oliver Barraza and Allison Tinney from Mixamo to talk about the Mixamo Animation Store, some of the new things that are coming for it, and yeah, it's good to have you guys here.
Thank you. Did it work? Almost. Now it works. Awesome. So, hi guys, I'm Allison and this is Oliver and we're from Mixamo. You might have seen us around. We've done a couple talks and we wanted to talk a little bit about our presence in the Unity Asset Store. So what do we do? So for those of you who haven't heard of us, we are an animation studio. We do a lot of high-end animation for, as you can see, some projects here like Karate Kid. Recently we did a Spider-Man game. Jurassic Park was a huge, huge project for us. And we also did some work with sports science as well. So here's a quick snapshot of our studio. So we do multiple actor captures. That's a snippet from the Spider-Man AR promotion game. And that's a little game demo that we did as well. So as you can see, Mixamo does a lot of high-end projects. And what we're aiming to do, we have a similar goal to Unity, which is to actually take game creation, take animation, and bring it to the masses. So just because animation is expensive doesn't mean it has to be expensive for you. So what we do is we capture a lot of this animation for high-end projects and then put it into the animation store for you guys to use in your own games. So in the Unity Asset Store, we have hundreds of characters. This is something we started up probably about a year ago, actually putting characters into the Asset Store. We comprise a large majority of the characters in the Asset Store. We also do rigging on our own website, so automatic rigging. So if you guys have meshes, models that aren't rigged, we'll actually rig them automatically for you. Perfect for Unity. We have the animation plugin, so you can find our animation plugin inside of the Asset Store. It's a free plugin, and what you can do is actually preview animation real time on your character in the Unity editor. There's some real-time editing as well, so you can edit the animation before you buy it. Sound familiar? Yeah, sounds a little bit like Mechanim. So we're really excited about Mechanim. And I think Oliver's going to talk real quick about our integration into Mechanim.
So just give me a brief second here to set up.
Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention. Inside of our Unity plugin as well is motion requests. So if you don't find the animation that you're looking for either inside the Asset Store or inside our plugin, you can actually request animations from us as a service, and we'll pipe them back into the plugin for you. So you can look for that inside our plugin, which is, again, fun in the Asset Store.
Thanks, Allison. So I've been working with Mechanim for, I don't know, 4 months now or something like that. And it's just a really great program, but I'm sure you've seen a lot of that by now, or hopefully you have. So what I want to talk about is what makes some of the new features in Unity really great. Specifically for me, because everything that's on the Asset Store by Mixamo was picked by me, set up by me, and put into the Asset Store, and then I make all the videos, and it just was kind of a big nightmare because there was really no way to preview anything. that just made it easy. So what they've gone and done is they've made it much easier to preview assets from the asset store right inside Unity. So you just head over to your project, and you can select something like animation, and then we created a tag for it, or a label essentially in this case, which is retargetable. So what you can do is you can come in here and you can then select an animation, and over here in the preview, the animation will pop right up. And so I'm previewing this right off the asset store. And now it's going to come up on the default character, but what you can then do is go back to your project and go to your characters, and then just drag and drop those characters in to preview those characters. So this makes it a lot easier to work with different characters and to preview them, so you can actually get a sense of what the animations are going to look like on your characters and not from a video. And they're no longer restricted to just the character it's sold with, because you're able to use the retargeting, which is just, again, some of the best that's available. So let me just show you again that you can just go animation, you take the label, retargetable, and then they start popping up. You can preview them. So here's the zombie attack. Another really cool feature about it is that a lot of people have characters that they set up as prefabs with, they attach a bunch of character items like weapons or armor or guns, as this guy has a gun. And when you set that up, you can actually use the prefab to preview it. So when we do the rifle walk animation, you can see that it's a little offset right there. So this one might not work with the character that I have set up right now. So I might want to look for a different rifle walk animation that's available for me. So it gives you a chance to see whether or not there's going to be any issues happening with the character and the prefab and everything that you have set up. It also makes my job a lot easier. So remember, just it's animation and retargetable, and retargetable is just a general tag that I think people are going to be using for all of that. There's also tag for Mechanim, so that's going to find all that other stuff for you as well. Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys. In addition to Miximo, we're going to be having a lot of new assets on the asset store to integrate with Mechanim as well. So there will be a lot of new characters and animation files and mocap data coming. And let's see, our next guest is Clint Walker from Roar Engine. Roar Engine is a really cool, yeah. Come on up. I'm so excited about Roar Engine. It's like a Swiss Army knife for creating a back end for online games, I guess. It's quite cool.
Thank you. All right, let me just get this pulled up. Perfect. Thank you for those kind words, Caitlyn. So Roar Engine is essentially game services for Unity developers. We actually got our start as a game development studio, and we discovered that being technologists, we were much better at building the technology for games than we were at building games. So we essentially started building out the tech to solve a lot of the pain in the ass problems that we had as game developers. So it was a lot of the stuff that you don't really want to have to deal with as a game developer. So it's things like integrations with social networks, payment systems, data storage, backups, rule systems, on-the-fly updates, all of that kind of thing. And so in a nutshell, I mean, these are the features that we've got of Roar Engine. We've got a really neat rule-based items and gifts economy. You can use it to build quests. Simple things like payment channel integrations across multiple different areas, badges, leaderboards, and all of that kind of thing. So the way this gets used in games, we've just launched a game with Halfbrick. Actually, this is a kind of a more social type game that they're experimenting with. But you can see here there's kind of instances of them using the quest system, which is all kind of powered by our cloud technology, which is useful for them because it means that they can actually deploy multiple versions of their games using the same core backend data set. So Here you can see a couple of instances of how they've applied that in this particular game. And one of the big benefits of that, of course, is if you don't have to build this stuff yourself, you get your game out much, much faster. This is kind of part of the magic of how Raw Engine works. Currently, this is a web-based configuration system which gives you the ability to create properties that you can then embed inside of items and tasks and quests and things like that. So you can see here, you can set up all sorts of properties, all sorts of parameters, and embed those directly into world objects. And the cool thing about doing this is that it's all server authoritative, so you really don't have to worry about your client getting hacked and having that kind of stuff to worry about for yourself. So here's a couple of examples where you can see setting up a simple badge system where there's requirements, costs, and rewards. And you can see that we've set up a requirement to have 10 friends. You can set up level requirements. A very simple rule-based system, point and click, so you really don't have to code all that much to set up this reasonably complex back-end logic there. One of the other cool things that we've just started to do in quite a big way is integrate with third-party game services, and you'll recognize some of the names up there as companies that are already working with Unity. But to give you an idea of why this is cool, we've got a company that we're working with called ClickPush, who have licensed a whole bunch of music from the big 3 out of the 4 music services. This is now integrated with Raw Engine's virtual goods system so that a player can essentially fulfill an offer, which is downloading a new hit song, and they'll get a Raw Engine virtual good. And the cool thing about powering this through Raw's simple point-and-click interface is it's easy to implement, and it's new ways to monetize, to track analytics, and do all of the things that specific companies have been set up to handle. So we're actually relatively new to Unity itself. We started life as a web API. What we have developed recently is a raw Unity SDK, which essentially just allows you to have direct access to the raw web API functions straight from Unity. We're launching this in the asset store next week. You can currently get a sneak preview by going to our github.com/rawengine. It's an open source SDK, so you can kind of hack away at things. The way that's getting used currently, this is a game that's in development by a company called Neon Play, who some of you may have heard of. It's essentially an airport management game, but they're using it to power things like their in-game purchases, the player inventories, all of the points and XP and things like that are all being run through Raw Engine. And again, this is kind of the point of Raw, is that it lets you concentrate on building the cool game stuff rather than having to worry about all that other integration crap that hopefully we make much easier for you. Where we're going, and part of the reason that we're very interested in working particularly with Caitlyn and the Unity team, is we have kind of had our eyes open a little bit as to the awesomeness of the Unity community. And what we want to be doing now is moving from an SDK to a full-powered plugin editor extension for Unity. This is a super early alpha preview of what that's going to be looking like, but essentially a drag and drop plugin that gives you player management, in-game shop capabilities, in-game inventory capabilities. This is a work in progress. We are actually hoping to, at this conference, it's part of what we've been looking to do, work with early access beta developers who are interested in working with this type of technology. So if anybody here is interested, see myself or Dave, and you're welcome to sign up at rawengine.com/plugin. Once again, this is kind of what we do best, simple rule-based back-end services for games. And yeah, you can check out what we've got for Unity currently at rawengine.com/unity. So thank you, Caitlyn, for letting us be here.
Thanks very much. Nice job. I cannot wait to see what people do with Roar, and in tandem with all these other great products like Photon Cloud. And the next one that I'm very excited about, which is Vostopia, a kind of a multi-purpose avatar management system. I could just picture all 3 of these products working so well together. Yeah. Bjarne. Yes. All right.
Yep. Well, I'm in here and I'm displaying, or should we try that again? Alrighty. Thank you, Caitlyn, for inviting me here. I'm Bjarne Rene. I'm the founder and managing director of Vostopia. We make an avatar system for Unity games. So we actually make an entire avatar creator system, virtual item system that you can get right into your game. And it saves you a whole lot of time. We spend a lot of time, so you don't have to, similar to everyone else who's been speaking so far, right? And our promise to the player as well is that they can create their avatar and take it across all the games that implement this system. So it's a universal avatar system for Unity games. So here on the right, you can see the, no, on the left, sorry, you can see the in-game interface that we have running on the iPad. You can come see us on the booth and we can show you the demo and everything. And there you can see some of the avatars that users have created in the systems. So this is only the start. Most of these are clothes and items that we generated, but we're also opening it up to developers to create your own avatar assets to fit the style of your game. And we'll let you play a lot with what you can do there. So this is showing the devices it currently runs on, so iOS and Android. It also runs on web. We're integrated with Facebook, and of course normal native PC or Mac client stuff. So we're pretty excited about that. We've currently got the entire user interface to create your avatar, to dress it up, to sell items right inside the Unity client, so you get all that in the Unity package you download from the asset store. I'll just show you the show reel very quickly. So this is showing off the dressing room interface there, changing the appearance of the avatar. A few of the different options you can put on the characters. And now we have a few of the games that are using it already. So we have 3 games out. It's quite early days. This is a game we made ourselves just to put the avatars in, and this is half an hour from where we live and work in Norway. And the next game that's coming up is the first third-party game that was made. It's a live multiplayer cycling game, so it's pretty cool. And so you can load other people's avatars. If you matchmake the people, you just get their avatar ID, and you can get that right into your game as well. Yeah, the pirate beat the cyclist there. So, and here's more of a casual one, quiz game set in a pub, you know, pub quiz setting, and you can see your friends, and you can like, poke fun at them, or cheer, or do stuff. This is from quite an early build, and this is in Norwegian. Just a bit of a stealth test in Norwegian there. So you probably won't understand too much. So we've also been playing with Mechanim for a bit, because of course we have avatars, we want them to animate. And also another thing that we played around with, and now you can see gorilla hands on the robot that's running around, and here's our super deformed look. So that really allows us to, or allows you, huge flexibility in how you want to use the avatars in your game as well. If you want to make a Mario Kart-like super deformed game, you can do that. Or if you want to be more humanoid and realistic, you can do that. So we are available right now on the asset store. Thank you. We're hugely excited about that. And we also have a stand next door. So if you go into the lunch area, you can come and see us. I'm Bjarne. I also have the creative director, Mike, and our senior programmer, Kira, on the stand there, and we can answer any questions you might have. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Caitlyn.
Thank you so much. I just love the charming style of the characters in Vostopia. Do we have Jason or Ryan? Are you guys here? Is that Jason? Okay. I'd like to introduce you to Jason Morel of Virtual Piggy.
Okay, how's everyone doing? My name's Jason. I work for Virtual Piggy. I handle games, e-commerce, and payments. Basically, similar to you guys at Roar, we started out making a child's MMO. And we got some early investors, and they said, you designed this great tech to deal with children and games and protecting the company from seeing the wrong data, handling monetization. We really think that's way cooler than your game. So if you want our money, you're going to have to go ahead and make the tech for it. So that's kind of what's happened. We've made a Coppa compliant system that lets you speak with, get data from, and monetize people under the age of 18. So as you can see, we're Coppa compliant, PCI DSS level 1 compliant. We hold all the parents' payment information ourselves. And we're focusing specifically on the under 21 market. We like to refer to as people that are banking at the bank of mom and dad. So anyone that still requires their parents to make purchases online or to make any purchases even offline. As you can see, some of the rough numbers, and I apologize for it focusing so much on the USA. We're based in Los Angeles, so I apologize. But we've got about 100 million users in our targeted bracket, and they're spending about $50 billion as of 2010. So if you look at how much it's gone up since then, it's a pretty decent amount of money. It's a little quick slide about who represents our company. You can see our board of directors and investors. We've got some pretty heavy tech hitters on there. We have Kirk Bradley, who was operations at Oracle with Larry. We have Dar Ali, who ran mergers and acquisitions for Amazon up until a little while ago. Martha, you guys probably don't know, she runs a bunch of charities and also is an incredible architect. She's pretty cool. Stedman Graham runs all of Oprah's stuff, and of course, I'm sure everyone knows a little bit about John Paul DeJoria. He owns Paul Mitchell and also owns Patron and House of Blues. And honestly, he comes to our office, he looks exactly like he does in the Paul Mitchell commercials. In real life, it's pretty scary. So here's our challenge. Here's what we set out to do once we drop the MMO aspect of it. We're basically looking at how can you, as a company, mainly in the US and EU where there's regulations regarding it, how can you deal with kids? In the US we have Coppa, and what that says is, as a company, you can't know any personal information about someone that's under 18 and under 13 are the two age brackets. So under 18, you can know some information, not all of it, and under 13, you can really only know, absolutely nothing, aside from what they ask, so a username, basically. But should that username touch their real name, or should it touch an address, or should it touch a credit card number, or their age, their exact birthday, then you're now out of compliance and technically breaking several different regulations and laws. In the US, you'll see it in several EU countries, mainly Germany has the toughest laws regarding this. That's a quick look at our website. If you jump onto virtualpiggy.com. So basically, what allows us to do this? What lets us be the company that can deal with kids and parents? Basically, what we do differently is we require the parents to do the setup. The parent creates a parent account. They set up all the account details. They input their payment information. We use credit cards and PayPal right now. As a payments guy, I'm looking at using mobile payments, obviously, direct bank transfer, anything along those lines. So whatever the parent wants to use, we should have available. What the parent does, and I'll show it to you on the next slide, is what sets us apart. You'll see on the very top here that there's settings. Basically, what's the kid's allowance online? What can the kids spend? You'll see that there's a transaction approval. If the kid's under 13, we can have it set up so the parent receives an SMS per purchase so that they get around these more stringent regulations involving people under the age of 13. So the parent will get an SMS. They'll say, do you want to allow this transaction? Yes or no. It averages about 2.5 minutes of pending state before the transaction's approved. with an 87% approve rate right now, so we're doing pretty good on that. You'll see the saving settings. We have a very interesting feature. We allow the child to save money towards larger purchases, and we also allow the parent to tell the child that he has to give a certain amount of his money to charity. The deals we have right now are Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scout and Girl Scouts, as well as the ASPCA regarding pets and animals. You'll also see on the very bottom the parent's child profile screen. In this case, the parent has 4 kids. One of them has obviously been bad because they have their status off, so they can't make any online purchases. You'll also see that we've matched what payment accounts are being used. So in this case, we've noted that the parent's using their MasterCard. Obviously, if it's a Visa, it'll say Visa. PayPal have a little PayPal symbol. And that's just in case they've given different payment types to different child. So obviously, if the child's older, he might have a higher amount of money he can spend per month. They might be on a different card or on PayPal in that case. So here's what the kid sees. We've basically set it up so the kid can see how much money they have left to spend. That's the very large bar on the top. Their charity and saving goals for the month. Obviously, we love to use our little pig logo for everything if we can. And the other thing we have that we think is pretty awesome is our wish list feature. We've basically duplicated Amazon's wish list feature, but it's not merchant specific. Anywhere the kid goes that he wants to buy something, he can save it. That'll be transmitted to the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, family, friends. They can all come in and make a purchase on the child's behalf. So it's a great way to get, we call it the social graph or the rest of the family network involved. And then I want to take a quick look at our new iPhone app. It's basically designed to allow the parent and kid to see what's available to spend, to see where they can spend the money, and funnel them directly to those different apps or websites or mobile sites where they can spend the money quickly. So as you see in this case, we've made a little demonstration. The grayed virtual piggy icons are placed where we've set it so this user is not allowed to spend any money. And then obviously the Connects icon, which is one of our launch partners, is lit to basically notify the user that this is where you can spend your money. And basically when they click on it, it directs them directly into the shopping experience, the mobile design shopping experience, with them already logged in. So at that point, it's a 2-click purchase. And obviously, we also want to show them what they have available to spend. So we have your allowance, what's available, and what's spent. So basically what we're looking at in the US at least, and partly internationally, is, here's the challenge. We have 25 million parents that are online in the US, generally averaging 1.5 kids. We have 10 million parents in our target range internationally. That's mainly focusing, once again, on Germany and France. And we have 25 million between the 18 and 21 range that are also generally spending all their parents' money and none of their own. So we consider them a target demographic as well. The aggregator channels are what we're looking at for the social graph. So in addition to the 25 to 60 million targets we have, there's basically double that in grandparents, aunts, uncles, and family friends that will also spend money on the user's behalf. So I mean, basically, this is just a walkthrough of what I said, why we think it's important to consider a service like ours. There's a couple things that aren't in here that we've added very recently that I just want to run through really quick if I have a minute. We've added basically a Cpa marketing system. But there's no cost, so I guess, FPA. And what it's designed to do is allow you to push offers to everyone on our platform. So let's say someone gets an email from Toys R Us and they sign up with us. How does that affect you? You guys make games, you don't work with Toys R Us. That user is now available to you to market for free. There's different regulations, not called Coppa, they're called CARU. They control marketing to under 18. To get around this, basically what we've done is we've designed a system where all of the offers go directly to the parent. The parent looks at the offer and says, okay, my kid loves this, my kid loves that, or oh, they sell mature things here, I don't want to allow that offer. They approve the offers, and the offers then filter down immediately to the kids and pops up on their front page. Let's see if I can. Yeah, it's the blank spot right there. When we had the slide made, the offer system wasn't live yet, so right where it says offers from parent on the side. So we basically designed a free CPA system for all of our merchants to use and to allow to access all the users on their platform, even if they didn't sign up through that specific merchant. So yeah, we're live right now. You can log on to our website, virtualpiggy.com, and you can try out the service and see if you like it. We're going to have a fully featured plugin. It should hopefully be done the 3rd week in September and live on the asset store. And that's all I got.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Yeah, is Ryan here? No? Okay, then I guess it's already a little bit after 3, so we are officially on break. but I am totally happy to do Q&A if you guys have any questions. Also, maybe you have questions regarding some of the online services that you saw today. And I'm sure that the people will be happy to answer your questions. Do we have any questions? Yes, in the back.
Hi, I was wondering, with the simple license on the asset store, does that cover just the one project and a whole team? Or does that cover more projects or just a single team member?
Well, for the majority of the assets on the asset store, like art assets, textures, things like that, script libraries, it is actually per team. So you could buy this asset and use it any number of times you want. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yes, right here. Is that Don? Hi, Don. Wait. Hold on, we've got a microphone coming your way.
Yeah, what sort of pricing plateaus are there and niches, and how much people are willing to pay?
Well, we have recommended pricing. You won't find many things in the asset store that are over $400, although there are a few, like the Algorithmics substance library. But yeah, most things are, under $100. You'll find art assets anywhere from 5 to 75 to 150, depending on what it is. But it's all pretty affordable. Actually, if you compare the pricing of our content to some of the other online content repositories, you'll find that our prices are actually quite good. Yeah. Yes, in the back. Thomas, behind you.
Hi. You said your assets are working real well, and do you have a review process for them?
I'm sorry, can you please repeat that?
You said your assets are working well if we integrate it.
Yeah.
And okay, do you have a review process for this?
We do, yeah, we do. We have a team of about 3 people whose job it is just to look at everything that comes in. We are pretty picky about a lot of the different things. If it's a model or something, we're always looking for common mistakes like, inverted faces, animation that doesn't loop right, or, sloppy geometry or poor UV mapping. And things like that, they don't make the cut. We check scripts, editor extensions for, see if they throw exceptions, to see if they work. We'll actually open the code and look through it and make sure things are documented. We look for trademark violations, all that kind of stuff, and just general overall presentation. I would say that most things on the asset store have, usually we send them back a few times and ask for improvements and corrections before we put it up. So we're actually quite picky. Next? No? Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for coming. Buy assets.